Good morning, good evening, good night. Welcome to NFT Live on the Web3 Network. We're back. First show of the week, and it's a Wednesday. Spring break things, I guess. Happy to see you folks here early. I saw Marty McFly. Give me the loot. We're just getting started here. Going to touch on a bunch of things happening across the space. Broader market still doesn't know where it wants to go. Still kind of figuring it out, but this is the journey that we're on here in the bull market. I got Huda, Gifted. I promise Biggie Poppins is on the way. We were having some technical-ish difficulties, but he'll be back. I promise. But let's introduce here my two wonderful co-hosts that are not having those issues. What's up, Huda?
What's up, man? The weirdest fucking market ever, dude. I don't know what the hell's going on. In weeks of not knowing what's. Oh, hang on, I left you hanging.
There you go.
Dude, it'd be cool if they had, like where Biggie does the hearts and hearts explode. It'd be cool if we touch tips and like lightning or something. Anyway, dude, it's I don't know what's going on out there.
What's your take? I mean, like we're gonna jump into this, but like, give me the 5-second take. Like, you just have who the frick knows.
It's like I hopped in Web3, and it's like Gif was talking about. It's like CryptoPunks look like their price is coming down to a maybe couple year low. We'll see if it happens, but it's like, man, NFTs in a really weird spot, and meme coin mania has not ended, and maybe we're feeling if it is getting towards the tail end, but we still got new tokens coming. We still got people that are like solely focused on tokens. It's just it's a weird time right now.
100%. Gifted, how are you doing, sir? GM to you.
GM, happy to be here with you and Huda. Happy to be here with y'all. Yeah, it's a weird time also for us. You've been traveling all week. I'm about to be traveling tomorrow, so we're getting it in where we can. Happy, for those of you that made it here on this special NFT Live episode.
Is it special?
It's always a special time when we get together up here. What are you talking about? Of course.
All right, damn right.
But yeah, man, it's a weird time. I think that the meme coin thing continues, but of course you got the ups and downs of the different cycles and the metas coming and going. And I think, yeah, we're maybe on the tailish end of this specific, the meme coin mania. So I think it might chill out here for a little bit. Enough people have been rugged. The pre-sale, Machi killed the pre-sale meta. So did Bryce Hall, apparently. Shout out Zach XBT, continuing to do amazing work.
Yeah. Do you ever get a follow-up? Like, I know we touched on this yesterday in GM Web3 over there on X, but I don't know, Huda, if you have a follow-up either on the $40 million that was raised and like what the plan is, or is it just like everybody took an L and we move on?
Well, the coin actually bounced back, so I have not been following it closely. If we're talking that Booba, whatever.
Yeah.
Opa. There it is. Yeah, like, okay, so remember I sent some money to it. I wasn't sure if I would get it because I didn't do the retweet and all that stuff. Okay. Well, I looked at my wallet and I didn't get it. Then realized you actually have to go claim it, and I did have some to claim. So I actually I'm in, and I'm holding some coins, and I'm riding it. Now, like day one, the coin looked like shit, worthless, right?
Yeah,
it looked like everybody was down. But I saw a tweet this morning that it's actually up decently, and saw the chart. Like, somebody tweeted the chart. It is up now.
From the sale or from its bottom?
It's hard to say. I guess I would have to go to an exchange and look at the value. I think so. Where I was at, I was down I put in like 1 SOL, 1.25 SOL, and I was down to like 0.8, 0.9.
Okay.
But as much as I saw it up today, I might be even or actually up right now. So I just need to check it out, actually.
That was going to be one of those secondary plays where it was going to be what we call in the biz a hated rally. Like, it's definitely one that was going to do well at some point. Some bottom was going to be formed, and it's got to be around Machi, and it's going to be volatile for that reason. All right, Biggie Poppins still rebooting his PC here, I'm assuming. Nice to see everybody here early. Even though we missed the last 2 days, you guys are here. You missed our faces, apparently. DP, Pablo, Daniel, Fisker Karma, Kerry Ross, GM, Give Me the Loot, as well as Marty McFly talking about these glizzies. Huda, give me a real quick breakdown, man, of what you got going on with Crypto Slam and NHL Breakaway, because I did see that you did a whole new intro. You guys are kind of partnering with them a little bit on that side. What's happening with NHL Breakaway?
Yeah, dude, it's a treat to do that kind of thing. I still talk like I'm new to content creation, and I kind of am. It is the first time I've had like an official sponsor of the show. So for Inside NFTs right now, NHL Breakaway is sponsoring it. So I made a little promo video, right? And I think they liked it, which that makes me feel good. I did something and it turned out okay. But anyway, yeah, for the next week, I believe they're going to be sponsoring the show. We got somebody else next week. The week after, it'll be NHL Breakaway again. But with all that said, guys, I'm going to have a whole bunch of NHL Breakaway packs to give away. So we'll give away some on Inside NFTs, but I'd love to do some here as well. So maybe tomorrow or the end of the week, we do some giveaways for some free packs there. They're cool, dude. They're like, like NBA Top Shot moments, but for the NHL. So if you're a hockey fan, can't beat getting some free moments, right?
A little bit of hockey action. I can get into it. What's up, Gif?
I love hockey. Hockey is the funnest sport to watch live. If you've never been to a live hockey game, it is so much different than trying to watch it on TV, because you can feel the impressive scale and speed of 200-pound like football player sized dudes skating around at 30 to 40 miles an hour on hard, cold ice, handling a tiny little puck with a stick. It's fucking amazing. Like slamming into each other. Like, it's fucking amazing and very impressive. And you can feel it. It's really cool,
dude. It's the speed. Like, I don't think you appreciate the speed until you're live, and like the sounds. It's like all of it. It is like an intense sport when you see it live. Yeah, man.
You can feel the energy of the crowd too, and there's so much possession that's traded back and forth all the time. So it's a fast-paced one. I'll add on to that, Gift, that if you've never been to a UFC fight, those are also really fun because they go 3 minutes on, 3 minutes off, 3 minutes on, 3 minutes off, and it's a really cool experience. You get to like talk right after those guys got done beating the shit out of each other, be like, holy shit, did you see that? And then it's right back into the action. It's actually really fun. And the walkouts are awesome if you go to a really good card. But anyways, into NFTs and Web3, I know Marty McFly is kind of hitting on something here. Everything is so dead. We do have NFT NYC happening right now. The market, again, is still kind of choppy right now to a little on the downside. And we really, have been in a state for the past, 2 weeks of saying, man, there's not a lot happening. And we're so used to moving at breakneck speed that it just feels like, even though there are things happening, it just feels dead. I don't know if you guys are feeling the same way. Also, Biggie Poppins, make sure you change your name, sir, before you hop up on here.
Very good catch. It's weird because it's like, it's not just the market in NFTs that's dead, which it is. Like, I mean, better than the bear market at least, but it still, market kind of feels dead. But it's like the news cycle, like the news is just incredibly slow, man. Like there's just, I mean, I'm digging for stuff to talk about. Speaking of which, man, we haven't talked since like the Diddy shit, have we? Has it been that long since we've had a show?
Lord.
Oh my God, do we?
I want to get into that, but like
no, there's because there was some weird NFT scheme to like get rid of some of the footage or get it out there publicly. It's so shady and weird, man.
But that's where we're at. That's some the kind of news that's like worthy of reporting now because there's nothing going on. So
some Diddy utility. All right, Biggie Poppins, on your journey to battle the technical difficulties.
Dude, I'm in Rug City, bro. Rug City. Everywhere.
Yeah, you're wrong mic probably too, but we got you at least.
Do you do that in mid-journey? You're getting there, Biggie. You're getting there.
Hey, you're very close. The lag's not there. We're piecing things together here. DP saying if you've never been to a monster truck rally or motocross race, you're missing out. That's a really southern thing to say, and I appreciate it. I used to go down to the Superdome in New Orleans and see like all of the monster truck rallies and things like that. They're a freaking blast. Also loud as shit. Like the loudest. It's basically like going to an air show. It's just so incredibly loud. All right, Biggie, what do we have you? Is the mic work?
No. I have to restart fucking the Rode mic because I restarted everything. Because Rug City, bro.
Well, you're here, man. That's what matters. But I mean, you have been doing a good job of surfacing some cool stuff, and a few more things popped up during GM Web 3 today. Maybe we'll mention OpenSea does have a new standard that can help protect creator royalties. You mentioned the punks are in a weird spot, which is, an indication of where the larger sort of crypto art NFT space is at. Apparently Degen is continuing to fly right now. It might hit all-time highs again today. And apparently part of the reason why is because they have another utility. Like they're shipping, like they are absolutely shipping over there. Whoever's behind the Degen team, they just shipped like a tipping mechanism that's integrated into X, I think. So you can use Degen to like tip creators creators or something like that. I haven't looked that deeply into it. So if you know what I'm talking about, maybe you can share some more details, but it's flying today. So there's definitely shit happening. And then the wormhole airdrop,
I'll tell you why things are different right now, Dave. It's a farmer's market. Get it? It's a farmer's market. You're tipping degen to get more degen. Farmers just minted over on pallet. It's a farmer's market. That's why.
I like
People are
that.
toiling the fields while everybody is off in NFT NYC. My sound is coming in good this time.
No,
I think we're good. Yeah, we're good.
Fucking thing.
It's
It's
it
good.
again sounds like the wrong mic, but we hear you. That's all that matters.
No, it sounds good. I like where you're coming through here now, Biggie. As far as the farmers over there on Say, what's been your experience, Biggie? You picked up some farmers on the secondary.
Yes, I succumbed. See, that's what happens. I was talking shit about them the day before. Not the art itself, but just like I'm not into troll art or whatever. And then I FOMO'd into one today. Yeah, because token, right? Farmers market. It's a farmers market everywhere.
Free mint to what I'm seeing is 183 Say floor. Or am I looking at the wrong one?
No, you're looking at the wrong one.
Okay.
The farmers are at 58.
58.
Right now.
Okay. Oh yeah, 60 Say. Okay, yeah, 30,000 24-hour volume. That's pretty good. We bump also with a ton of volume there. Cool, man. That's great. Definitely will pick up a farmers as well over there. Just picking up what you can. That's kind of the meta right now, I think, with Say and to an extent a broader market. What's up?
I'm really excited about the upcoming drop by NYC Digital Desolation. Have you been looking at the sneak peeks for that? We've been talking a lot about anime projects, right? And I'm sorry, I don't want to even touch the computer so that it doesn't freak out on me, but it's called Digital Desolation. It's a 222 piece collection. And dude, it slaps. Like they've been going every day, like just showing like teasers, and that's like really, really cool art. I'm excited about that. Something you guys might consider checking out, especially since we've been talking anime right now, right? But I don't know, to me, it's exciting because yes, they're like the seas are calm, but there's still like stuff beneath the surface happening.
Yeah.
I've been heading over to the Ton ecosystem for Telegram.
Smart, man.
Playing around there a little bit, and I've also been exploring the move chains, which are Linea, Sui, and Aptos, which are like the XDM / Zuck coins project, right? Like it's splintered off. I'm starting to like formulate a couple of narratives, right? One of them, it's like an extension of what we've had right now. Like you and me, Q, talk a lot about like this parallelized EVM, right? That's coming up, right? Which is like, I would call it EVM 2.5. Like it's not exact. Not that it's not 3, but like you have EVM, you have parallelized EVM. You have the Solana virtual machine, which is SVM now, right? Which is kind of like leveraging that for parallelized EVM. And then you're going to MVM, the move EVM. And look, whether it succeeds or not is not for me to decide or stay there to witness. But is it a meta that will have potential or it stay in the sun? I think so. The move coins are very well funded. Yes, they are total VC coins. They are centralized as fuck. Having said that, I have heard great things from the developers about like the move language as a new language to work with. It was developed from the ground up from pretty capable people with the intention of conquering the NFT space. And so I think they will push to have its day in the sun. I think you're seeing that right now with Aptos, especially. It's starting to have its moment. You will see Sui and Linea soon after, and then it's as a potential play. I'm seeing not necessarily long term.
Say's sworn enemy, Sui. I can't believe you're going over there. Michael P, OVOT, PJ and Kim says OVOT. What's up, Deck? I'm good, thanks. Especially after this wormhole airdrop, which we're about to cover for sure. Did you guys claim your wormhole by chance? Any wormhole was claimed.
I might
I
have.
don't know
Sorry.
I don't know if I got any or not. I'm gonna check after the show. But Biggie got a small dub. Sounds like a couple people in the comments did, so that's good. You know, maybe a small liquidity event here that adds, you know, some gas to something. I don't know. It's probably going into meme coins. Let's be honest. Yeah, it's like back to like the larger market. It's like the halving volatility is starting, right? That's what I think this is. Like and I expect it to be choppy and volatile for the next like 2 months at least, maybe 3 months. But yeah, it's definitely a weird market right now. I definitely got chopped up yesterday trying to play it on a down day, and it was not smart. So you gotta be careful.
Deck also saying about the wormhole airdrop, just a tip for the Terra, import your old Terra wallet to Kepler and check. Got 1300 W with that. So maybe
that's a win.
That is a dub. Let's see if we have a price currently for wormhole. I'm gonna make sure I'm tracking this with you guys.
It looked like it was coming up, like bouncing back nicely, because it was like it was a straight dump right out of the gate.
Right out the gate.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Shocker.
I always find, like, I don't know, the sweet spot is like 1 to 3 to 5 days, like hold. If you have to have, you know, as my good friend Gift that says here, the testicular fortitude to fucking withstand seeing that shit dump. I was simply late today, but I saw it and I was like, well, I'm gonna win. But yeah, you know, 3 to 5 days is usually a safe bet to see.
Yeah.
Sometimes they have follow-up announcements.
So you're a community member for at least about a week, you know?
Yeah. I'll vote. I am already in the Discord, Gift, by the way.
All right, I need to make sure that this is the correct one. You know, there's always a ton of different tokens that kind of prop up and try to sell themselves as the original. But it looks like Wormhole token here sitting at $2.5 billion market cap. Is this correct?
Wow.
There's the original dump.
2.5 billion, huh?
Sitting at $1.43. Again, need to make sure that this is the actual Wormhole token. There's a bunch of fakes here. If you guys can get me GIF, if you can find it on Deck Screener or something, maybe we could find it. Make sure.
I mean, that's probably, if it's 2.5 billion market cap, that's probably it.
Yeah, always do your.
It's hard to fake a 2.5 billion dollar market cap.
Yeah, it looks like this is the correct token. So, like Huda was saying here, we did see a dump right out the gate here, all the way down to $1.20. So it's really not that far off of wherever that support line ends up being at $1.20. So who knows where that goes from here? 2.5 billion sounds like a lot. Sounds like a lot.
Where does that put them? You know, like what other crypto or tokens does that put them kind of
good.
in the ballpark of?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Bonk,
let me see.
Bonk is around 2.5 to 3.
50. Puts him right at the 49 mark. So we've got Wormhole sitting right here. Pepe is at 47.
Man.
It's above Phantom, Monero, Jupiter. A lot of these. So yeah,
wild to be able to come out right away and be, right there, a top 50 coin.
Yep.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see if it holds that. What do y'all think? What's the over under on it? What do we think a week from now? Calling over or under?
Can you show Jupe to see how Jupe behaved?
Yeah,
just to have like a comparable. I know they're not exactly in the same.
Jupe's been a great launch though, so that is a good. Yeah, it had a little sell off and then pretty much, consolidation.
The thing that intrigues me is that like Solana projects in that regard are a little different the way they behave, right? Like they usually are very. They always consider like the follow up. I feel whether it's like token or discount on fees or leverage or like with Jupe, it's like, oh, another token for our launch pad now, right? Like if you had held Jupe and if you had voted, you would now have access to Zeus, right? Like which is like going to be their launch pad and stuff like that. I think we still have to see what Wormhole is considering right here, right? But I think it's definitely one of those top platforms when you think of bridges, right? Like, I definitely think they have competition. Having said that, within the Solana ecosystem, I think they're, I don't want to say rule supreme, but kind of.
All right, I just dropped the link for that claim. I will definitely be doing that right after the show. Basically I'm flying around today, so need to make sure I do this claim. There's another claim as well that ends relatively soon. I believe the Dimension airdrop is one that closes early April. So if you haven't done that, definitely look that up. No, I haven't. What
are you doing?
I know. It's crazy. Real quick, I want to hit the disclaimer. We're almost halfway through the show, and we have not hit it. So, Gifted, if you can give us the handy dandy, and then I do want to get to this CryptoPunks piece here that we can definitely discuss.
Right on. Pay attention. Listen up. All y'all out there. This is important. We are not financial advisors. And I know. You hear that all the time. But we have to say it. It's for good reasons, for your safety and for ours. We're up here degenning like me yesterday. And again, I said this morning on GM Web 3. If you've been copy trading me over the last 2 years, like that's you're not in a good spot, fam. So just remember, there's a reason why we say this. It's because ultimately you're responsible for your bags. Do not be like us. Do not take this as financial advice. Do your own research. NFA. All right.
All right, Huda, I want you to look at this and tell me what the heck is going on. Cirrus came out with a pretty, I don't want to say damning tweet. He's just like pointing out some things that might be concerning for CryptoPunks, saying, don't hate me for bringing this up, but there are around 100 loans, almost over 40 ETH here on CryptoPunks that expire over the next couple months. Pretty good chance we see a bunch of liquidations and punks sub 40 for the first time since summer 21.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember how low they got, during the bear market. I feel like they got in the 30s then, right? And so like I don't feel like it's great that we're heading back to that territory maybe, and I'm not convinced that we are. I mean, I think and I believe CryptoPunks are very, very different, and I think they have collectors, and I think they'll have, a different kind of support. I don't know how far do you think punks could fall? Because we're seeing Bored Apes getting damn near like at 10 or less, right?
I think it'll be a great also indicator, Huda, as to who these buyers are, right? Mm-hmm. Like I'm very curious about that. Is it like people in the ecosystem that have been like saving up, waiting for a moment like this to pounce on a CryptoPunk? Or is it new money, this fictitious new money up till now that just is all of a sudden coming into the space finally, right? Like, I'd wager it's the first. I'd wager like you'll see the people that pick it up the most will be people that are already here that have been wanting so. And having said that, Huda, like you said, I think the price or how low they go will be a great indicator into the financial health of said sector of people, right? Like if it goes the way you're kind of insinuating, where it's like it's different and like there's people out there, then like you said, I think they'll find a different level of support. Like it won't go that low. They should be scooped up immediately, right? If not, well, there you have it, folks.
I'll tell you this. I could see them getting in the 20s one day. I don't know if that's this time right now. I could see it one day. Like, I mean, I literally
hit me in the balls, Huda.
I don't think it's a bad thing either. I think that would mean ETH is going up too. Like I just think that's there's a scenario where that happens. I said I thought Bored Apes would be 10 or under, and I said this years ago when they were worth a fuck ton. To me, it just makes sense, and so I think if punks can hold a 20-25 ETH floor is still like pretty damn impressive. The problem isn't with punks; it's not with like NFTs. It's the 10K size, man. It's too big. It's just too fucking big. Are there really 10,000 people in the world that really can afford a punk right now that give a shit about NFTs? Like, maybe. That's the one collection that maybe, but we're testing that right now. Maybe. And here's the thing.
The only reason that I agree, I'm siding with Huda here, is because we've seen that we really don't know where the bottom is on any of the ETH NFTs. We don't. We've been sitting here saying the same thing for Bored Apes, like you're saying. And it keeps going, and it's like, where is the actual bottom here?
People are terrified.
Yeah, people are.
I I mean, the fact is 10 ETH is still a fuck ton of money, 20
Yeah.
ETH.
Well,
It's a lot of money.
Well, I'll say, maybe if I'm looking for a silver lining, because like I agree that any of this is possible at this point. I think I'm cutting out a little bit, so hopefully I'm coming through all right. But
you're good.
I'll say this: if you check the fear and greed, indicator, whatever, over the last couple days, it started to come down closer to like 50, back in that more in that fearful zone. It got a little bit frothy. The cat marked the top, the local top here. Everybody aping into cat coins. It's actually apparently a well-known signal in the crypto market that like you can time the tops almost perfectly by when everybody starts YOLOing into cat tokens. And that literally happened again this time. And so the froth is starting to chill out. Who knows where the downside of this is, but the fact that you're starting to see some actual fear and the sentiment changing, that means that we're getting into that, hopefully that downish part of it, and setting up for when we eventually turn around. I'm not saying we're at the bottom yet, but I'm saying that negative sentiment where everybody starts to get legitimately fearful means that we're getting into that bottom part of the fear and greed curve. And hopefully, gonna move into the next phase in a week or so. I don't know.
Yeah, everybody likes pointing out that market psychology, like it's not a meme; it's more of like a poster. It's like basically like a graphic, and there are dips in there, right? And this is definitely one I think that can be attributed to staying within that trend line. I also will bring up the fear and greed index. I'm not the biggest fan of the fear and greed index, but there's some things to be said for this. So you can see CoinMarketCap has several different indicators here. Spot market, market cap. So just looking at the overall, market cap of the entire space, 2.5 trillion. We were sitting at 2.6 here a little while ago, and then you can see that dip there. And this is This is on the yearly volume as well. You can see like we spiked in volume early March, and you can see that kind of return to what it was before. So definitely a blow off the top a little bit on the volume here over the last bit. And then I guess here's the crypto fear and greed index that Gift was mentioning. This is for a year. This only dates back to August of last year, it looks like. August, maybe even June. So I'm seeing June here, June 30th. And you can see kind of the move into extreme greed happening late February and staying there till just about this month.
Yeah, so we're probably tracking close down to 60 right now, but it probably needs to get down to that 40 to 50 zone before it really, starts to pick up again.
All right, so we were talking a little bit here on the CryptoPunks. I know Biggie was throwing out, don't fund my bags here.
Bags. I don't have fucking CryptoPunks.
Oh, I thought you were saying something
but
about
it's just the space, right? Like, I mean, you know me, brother. I do love a good fire sale, and I think that's what Cyrus is doing here, right? Like, some people could read it as like, "Oh, dude, he's funding his bag," and that's why he was like, "I'm sorry." But on the other hand, hey, if you're in the market for a CryptoPunk, this is like a sale, an upcoming sale, right? And boy, I'm sure a lot of people that are fans would love to have that liquidity right now to be able to deploy, but I don't know, man. Like, to me, like, it's one thing to like fire sales and blood in the streets, right? And the wailing and everything. But some stuff, like, even I can't fathom, brother. I'm like, dude, like, damn, like, if it, like what Huda was saying, like 20, I'd kick myself, man, right? Like, for maybe not remaining as liquid in that regard.
Exactly.
Like it's like, God, like, who could have ever seen something like that coming? So, but to me, more than anything, it's that, right? Like the health of the market. Huda, I want to see this place succeed. It's my favorite space out of everything in Web3. So fuck, I'm rooting for it, man. I was like, I can take pain, but damn.
Dude, just a couple quick points there still about punks. One, how many people have felt like they missed punks before and maybe have been trying to set themselves up for the next time, the last time they'll ever come down to be affordable and you can't miss it again? I think a lot of people. I think there's a lot of people out there with 20, 30 ETH that's on standby just in case it ever falls to that level. So I think we'll see some support. But a bigger thing too about those auctions that he's referencing. First, it's not counting what is it, Gandhi, like loans that are over on that platform too. So there may be more. But the other thing is, I guess a lot of those punks that have loans right now are not floor punks. They're like really nice punks. So you could expect a lot of people are going to come and scoop them right up if they do hit auctions. So I don't think this worst case scenario is actually even going to play out. I don't.
One thing worthy of bringing up, and I would ask you, fine gents, here is, you know, and many times in a collection, people have theories about whether to just buy floors or to go for the stuff you like, right? To go for those trades. I think when it comes to CryptoPunks, if you're gonna spend that kind of money, most people will try to get something that agreeable to them, right? I wonder if there's a limit to that, Huda, right? I wonder if there's like this one's gonna clearly delineate to me like what somebody's willing to spend, because it's still 20 ETH is a lot of money, right? Like you're gonna spend it, you're gonna look for something that you like. After that, I feel you're almost like, okay, it's a CryptoPunk because it's gonna be worth more, and I'm speculating. I'm just gonna flip this motherfucker, right? Like to think that everybody's gonna find their perfect CryptoPunk, one that they are absolutely thrilled to own. I'm curious. Do you think like if the pickings are slim, would you go for that?
I would grab any kind of floor punk as soon as it got within range, because I figure like over the lifetime I could probably work at a deal, and I need a crypto punk.
There's a really cool psychological thing with this is like you have collections that actually do have really nice floor looking pieces, and then you have things like, I'll give them probably the best example that I know of is the Bored Ape Yacht Club, the Crazy Eyes. Like they're not that good looking apes, right? Like and I'm sure like some people find that attractive and stuff like that, they'll buy it. But there's some collections that have like really really good floor like collection pieces.
Yeah.
Like it just,
I guess the one part that I'm discounting also is the access that this grants you, right? Like I do see owning a punk, at least if you're into Web3 and you want to be in the conversation, you want to be where builders are and everything. I think the CryptoPunks community, having access to that is fantastic. It's a great resource. It's a great place to network and make friends, I think, at least from what I've heard. So right. Yeah, there's several components there that will be interesting to see how people value these different things, and
punks isn't
what price.
Yeah, I don't think anybody should be that worried, because for all the reasons people have said, like there's going to be enough people that want these things that understand what they are, that I don't think that they go that low, but I do think that it at least provides a good short to midterm indicator of the health of the market, like Biggie was saying. And of course it's fun to watch and it's fun to talk about. But yeah, man, it's like the supply problem is a big one right now with how oversaturated things have gotten, and that's the biggest problem I think that Yuga has right now. 10K CryptoPunks, that's all there's ever going to be. They're not going to dilute that any. So it's like, and it's the biggest collection. So it's like, I'm not super worried about them, but it does point to that issue being a much bigger issue outside of CryptoPunks when you've got 10K, 20K, 30, 40K. Like
another
V-Friends did it too to themselves. V-Friends launched V2 with like 60,000 fucking pieces.
But yeah, this is, I don't know. Like to me, a crazier question might be, Huda, if punks dive that low, what are squiggles at? Because people are probably going to want to sell those squiggles to go get a fucking punk.
No, that's great.
And what would you go for?
That's the thing. There's plenty of other things that are holding value right now that people will sell off. So we're going to see this impact other collections. It's really an interesting scenario. Also, kind of live, I changed my mind on like price predictions. So I don't see punks falling like super far right now. I don't think that happens. But picture like now with the sentiment we all have in our experience now that we're seeing in the bull market. I mean, this is a bull market, even though it's not exactly in NFTs. But like picture when we get to the deep, dark bear again, like we were in last year, how fucking low things will get. Okay, so I think at that point, I wouldn't be shocked to see punks hit like 15. That will not shock me.
If ETH is like Fuda. 10K, maybe.
Fuda's just bringing
Fuda
the sunshine and rainbow.
I knew I was going to upset somebody with the Crazy Eyes comment. Apparently,
Come
it was,
at me,
it was
bro.
Carrie
Come at me,
Ross.
Carrie.
Yeah, I guess so. Quasar saying punks are forever grails.
They are.
Carrie is
Yeah.
saying, hey, don't diss the crazy eyes. Maybe one is listed and there are only about 500 overall, and one is mine.
The thing
Fair.
is,
To each their own.
if punks get down to a certain range, people are gonna start doing crazy things to get into them. You know, that's what you have to understand, is that like people will literally liquidate and leverage everything they have to get a punk if it gets to like 20 ETH.
But what
You know
happens
I mean?
if that's in the bear where you can't sell shit? Like everything's worth.
I'm just saying that's the behavior that I would expect, which is why I do think that they have a floor at some point that's pretty high. Like I think it remains.
Now,
pretty high.
Huda, you're talking 10, 15 ETH in the future bear. What is ETH worth during a bear by then, right? Like
3.
Again, we get down all the way to
Maybe.
3.
Oh, yeah.
Next bear,
Oh,
next
100%.
Yeah, the next like deep dark bear. Yeah, why not?
3 or 4.
Right,
That's
'cause
always been.
I mean,
the
my
previous
barometer is
highs
always like
have always been the support level on the bear, right? Like 1800 ETH was a high in 17, and that's where we kind of were ranging in the bear. But go ahead.
all right. No. That's fair.
It's
Okay.
fucking fascinating, man. I just like it's just cool to watch it all unfold, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's all miles.
I will be interested to see where the puck is going. We talk about it a lot. Meme coins obviously are huge. I'm placing a lot of bets on the gaming side, and Parallel is the flagship. We were talking on GM Web3 the other day, kind of around like, hey, what do you expect? What is going on? That's a large question. There's a painting with a large brush. But if Parallel can continuously like get W's and just stack these, I think it really is like a trickle down effect for the rest of the narrative and the ecosystem. Like they have just shown that, hey, you can launch a token, you can launch it NFTs, these things can work together. It's a great example of at least the narrative working, right? Because other than that, you saw it with the metaverse plays, right? There were no metaverses that ended up just saying, being one that you could point to and say, this works. Look at this.
You
Who's
need
cutting whose bags now?
Yeah. You need those W's, and you also need like the tent pole successes. And so the question here really is like, clearly Parallel is one of the few legitimate W's that Web3 gaming has, but is it the House of Cards, the Halo? Is it going to be, can it take that next step where it becomes like a massive success outside of Web3? And I think that they're setting themselves up. I do see that they have that potential. And they're not there yet because it kind of, again, but steps like this, like getting into the Epic Game Store, things like this, having a legitimate product and a whole ecosystem that's already functioning and works and has a bunch of people, actual good game hooks and mechanics that has people, it's sticky, it has people replaying and coming back to it. All of these things set it up to maybe be that Halo moment or that big thing that we really fucking need. Because once you get that's like you're saying, Q, it's like all of a sudden a lot more eyes, a lot more interest starts to look our way.
Yeah, I again echo everything you're saying. We did show off really quick, if you weren't paying attention, that Parallel is getting listed on the Epic Game Store. Apparently, this isn't the biggest lift in the world, so don't think about this as like, holy shit, like they just rocked it. I mean, this is great news. This is great news, but apparently it's a little bit easier of a process than what the announcements come off as. So great to see that they're on the Epic Game Store. That's fantastic. But yeah, love it. All right, next. I have a couple other quick ones, man. I don't know what you guys want to touch on before we round out. I got the Tensor piece, but go ahead.
Let me throw one thing to just sort of wrap up, put a bow on the gaming thing. So we'll do a 360 flip off the Parallel story into A16Z. Huda was covering this, and we didn't get a chance to talk about it here yet. They also just allocated a $30 million fund. They're calling it their speed run program. And over the next 45 days or something like that, they're going to be giving $750,000, so $750,000 to a bunch of different projects. Maybe it's 45 of them total, and that's how it makes sense. For one a day, maybe. So it's like they're basically trying to fund a bunch of different Web3 gaming startups with this speedrun program. So Andreessen Horowitz committing, doubling down on Web3 gaming. And yeah, that's it. Remember that's the type of thing that like you need to be seeing in a bull market. Like that signals that we're in a bull market. When the money starts flowing again, when the VCs start coming in and opening up their pocketbooks, that's a good sign.
That it always, going through this cycle and this timeline that we're sitting in, trying to formulate your thesis. The way that I've looked at it is like this meme coin meta is a pendulum, right? Like we're moving more towards less product, more culture, whatever you want to call it, right? That stuff that doesn't really have a product behind it. And when that pendulum swings back, it's going to swing back to things I think like art and gaming and things that like actually are pretty strong use cases for the technology. Like I don't get me wrong, I love the meme coin meta, but I think it's a little bit full of hot air.
It is a use case. It's just a particular one. Here's the interesting thing, because when I hear you, like what I hear you talking about is how the puck moves from one meta to another. But these things are now coexisting at the same time and aren't going like some metas like pick up and then kind of die, and they're just sort of like a quick blip on the radar, and they don't really form into a larger thing. I think you're right that right now the focus has been very heavily on the meme coin culture casino, and then that'll probably shift back at certain points, and maybe we're seeing that right now, but that's not going away. That's going to continue to grow.
It's the narrative of what you're talking about every day. That's what I'm talking about. Like meme coins might do that, but there will be a point, in my opinion, where you're going to be starting to talk about a lot of the things that are actually being built and all that stuff. Like I'm not saying by any means when the pendulum swings this way, just like gaming right now is doing things. Just because the pendulum's over there, we're still talking about stuff.
It's just
I just mean the
focus.
Majority. Yes.
Yeah, but I guess the reason why I was like kind of pushing back or trying to state that is just that you kind of spoke about meme coins like it's not a use case, but I believe actually that the meme coin culture casino is the most accessible, fun use case that crypto's ever created, and that's why it's becoming a bigger thing. The ability to speculate and just like YOLO on fucking cat memes and do it in a very cheap way.
The only problem with that is it's about price, and when the price goes away, the communities will go away. The people will get upset.
We'll get
all
wrecked.
of this stuff.
Absolutely.
Everybody will get wrecked. It's great when number go up. That's all I have. That's all I want to disclaim.
That is all the evidence you guys need, though, to also know that it's gonna swing back one day to PFPs. It's going to.
It is.
That's all your evidence right there. The fact that people are throwing so much fucking money at meme coins that are just vapor.
And maybe let's throw a little bit of extra cool water onto this and say, what are we projecting out there to the world to onboard everybody else? And I'm not gonna shy away or shit on the fact that it's about money here, and for the longest time it's about people just getting these gargantuan gains that you cannot get anywhere else. Yeah. Having said that, there is also like a very serious application and technology and ethos that this is like leading with, right? Like I think it's important not to lose the forest before the trees in that regard. Like don't get me wrong, I do enjoy and agree with some of the things that GIF is saying, but yeah, at some point I think you want to have a different discussion, right? Like I'm personally up for it. I've been waiting for it for a while. I still chuckle at the fucking tickers and the names that pop up and get up, but like to what you were saying, Q, at some point it's gonna stop. I just hope that this is not the shit that we're going to be fucking known for and remembered for.
I just think it's all the above. I think it's all the above at the same time, and that's a big difference. So yes, of course, you can say like on the margins, things are going to shift focuses, but it's getting so fucking easy now for people to spin up new tokens. That's the difference here. It was like, yes, you could do it in the past, but there's now like people on YouTube with millions of followers that are taking their again, they're getting millions of views every single day, and they're walking people through how easy it is now to launch fucking meme coins. This is different. It hasn't been this easy. No, I know the different thing. I get it. But I'm saying it's never been this sort of like turnkey easy thing to spin up and fucking launch a meme coin in a casino.
It could 100% do that. It could just be here, it could just be here.
I think it will. I think I do agree in that regard. It's
like sports betting, y'all.
I see it as just something that's going to be like it's always been. It like pops. They're like little volcanoes or like earthquakes. They happen at different magnitudes. You know, the last time that we had it, it was pretty much like Turbo and Pepe, and that's it. I mean, there were a couple in between, but it was very short-lived, right? This one has definitely been prolonged. I would start timing it since the Saga phone. The Saga phone kicked this off with the Bonk. A Bonk even before that had come out, right? But like Saga phone really galvanized it. I think, and I think it's definitely come back with a tremendous fervor. Like it's insane that it's actually, to me, lasted this long. I think one of the reasons that it's lasted this long is that it's almost like it's the same liquidity. It's just jumping from chain to chain, right? Like in that regard, and that's why, like I was saying earlier in this episode, is like I'm exploring these further out chains that still haven't captured people's attentions and trying to just position myself very diligently in small amounts for that possibility, But I do think, whenever you see a new protocol catch attention, along with its top NFT collection, along with its top DeFi protocol, is going to be its top shitcoin. And so if you can spot those and get there a little early,
place yourself,
and not fucking wreck yourself and go too crazy, right? You could potentially do well.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think all of these things could be true. Like Gift's saying, Quasar saying all of the above. I think for me, it's like these things are so tied to cycles. They're so tied to a certain timeline. That's why to me, the sports betting analogy is a little bit not congruent with like what's happening here, because again, it's so tied to the cycle. In the bear market, there will not be this stuff happening like this. There will be people getting consistently wrecked, just like we've had in every other bear market. You can't continuously trade if everything's going down only. You know what I mean? Like that's whereas sports betting is like, yeah, you do it year round. There's no tie to this thing that we call the bull and bear market. So it's just tough. I just look at things in those those waves. I don't know if meme coins exist outside of that.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. You're saying sports betting is more secular than cyclical, and I get that. It's less dependent on the current macro micro market dynamics that are happening that day. I just think that it's going to start to separate a little bit. I don't know how much. Because you're right. It still will be. It's still inextricably tied to the larger narrative. Like even right now, I was just reading Jerome Powell just came out with some bearish news saying that, don't expect rate cuts until there's further confidence in where inflation's going, which means we have to wait a little bit longer for the money printer to go burr. But yeah, what's the point? Yeah, I think you're right. I see it separating and evolving into a more common thing than it was before.
Yeah, there is that Pareto effect that DP is talking about too. He's saying that basically people are losing their asses too.
Yeah.
And so like 80% or something of the people that will get in will likely lose. And so like there is that element, I think, to keep in mind. It's like the very small amount of winners that get to walk away from it.
And eventually they run out, right?
Remember
they don't have any more liquidity to bring in.
Right, but remember that Vegas is the same exact way. The house always wins, and yet more people keep showing up because that 20%, that 10% keep offering you that hope. Like just remember that there's always going to be people out there on Twitter showing off their fucking bank, their wallet accounts because they just made $100K or $1 million on a fucking shitcoin. And every time that you get those stories shared around a fucking million times, you get the new customers coming in.
All right, we didn't talk too much on base here. I did have a Tensor thing I wanted to get into, but we got a little bit of local news here from base.
Yes,
Yo.
Dude.
Jesse.
Look, I wanted to also bring up the foundation moving to base, launching art there, because it all ties together. I launched droppers to be early with legit art projects on base. It's one of the first legit art projects that I know of on the entire base chain. It minted out in March. Y'all were here for it if you're here. So fuck yeah. Hopefully some of y'all got them. And it seems like, we've been early on this. That was part of it. We've all been talking about this. Even we started talking about base in last summer when they were doing on-chain summer, but especially over the last couple of months, we've been very bullish on it, telling y'all that we see this is going to be a winner. This is picking up for all the different reasons. and it's happening. Well, again, we're seeing the TVL, we're seeing the transaction volume going parabolic on base. And then again, seeing Foundation now moving over there as well, doing more art there means that I was right, that I would be early to that art market. But I just have to say, big thank you, shout out to everybody who supported it, and Jesse Pollock, who picked one up. He's basically the head of base. He picked up a dropper yesterday, really fucking cool. We had a little back and forth on X. You know, I've been kind of like following him and sharing some of the things he's been talking about for a while. So I'm honored. I feel like that's really it's just really cool. But the point that I want to get to is that this type of thing is what creates loyalty. Like, loyalty doesn't really exist like it used to. Like in branding and marketing, so much of it used to focus on customer loyalty. What do you do to get that? And with younger generations like Gen Z, millennials, etc., it's almost impossible. Like, there's very little brand loyalty or whatever that is. But I can tell you this, those types of organic interactions and supporting the community and having that type of like rapport, or just showing that you're not up on some pedestal, too cool and too busy to like, you know, dip down and pay attention to the little guys that are building in your ecosystem, that goes so fucking far. And it's one of those sort of obvious, easy, low-hanging fruit things that we see so many different founders in the space just totally ignore. So I just can't tell you, to me, like, how bullish it makes me, how much more bullish it makes me on base to see the leadership taking a little bit of their time, taking a couple $1,000s or even just a couple $100 to go and interact and support some of the smaller builders and like, you know, say, you know, hey, I'm just so glad that you're here. I'm glad that you're building on base. Like, dude, that shit means everything. Everything.
Yeah, the guys over on Say have done a really good job of this too. The ecosystem growth. Philip has just been involved in the eco and supporting people like that. Carrie Ross saying, I think base is a winner for NFTs and coins, easy and MetaMask, and many platforms taking it on. Yeah, I mean, we're not going to dive deep into base today, but big shout out to Jesse for doing that, man, supporting the different creators on his chain and getting after it. Definitely cool to see their growth in that time. All right, Huda, you've been a little bit quiet here the last 10 minutes. I want to give you a opportunity, man. Like, anything else you want to hit on that is really kind of, you know, tickling your fancy?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. GIF, you don't like when people call royalties tips, right? Is that you? I'm trying to remember. We had a discussion once, and I can't remember.
No, because it to me, it creates the wrong standard and expectation for what it is.
Okay. Well, I'm just dropping you a link here in private chat. And actually, I don't think you'll have a problem with this, because this is just like, it's the only way to make it happen in this ecosystem. But I noticed this the other day. I listed something on Bitcoin, and I noticed that, and I'm like, well, was that always there and I just never noticed, or is this new? And it does seem like it's a new feature over in that on Magic Eden on Bitcoin.
I love that this wasn't a topic of conversation at all. This whole Bitcoin run up.
Yeah.
Oh, I got you.
I have an alternative to that where I've seen that work really well. If you go to Drip House, that's a artist platform on Solana. You can basically thank or tip people, but they call it thanking people, right? Like, you can thank a certain amount of drip to the arts that is, you know, that is dropped on your vault. And I think it's really cool. Semantics, I think, a little bit, like just like how you want to frame this, you know, whether it's tips, royalties, or whatever.
It makes a difference, though, to me. It's like the difference between tipping and royalties is not semantics. Those are very different. The difference between tips and thanking somebody, that's semantics, because you're just rebranding tips with something that doesn't have such a negative sentiment. The whole concept of tipping has kind of a negative sentiment around it, so that's part of why it really isn't great, and I don't like this at all. But it's not just that. Like, imagine if actors, writers, producers. But imagine if they had to go out and like jiggle a cup around at the movie to try and get people to tip them for the work that they're doing and that they're enjoying. Like, it's problematic to me to set the standard and expectation that artists have to be trying to get tips out of people and expecting that to get value from their work.
Are you okay with? Well, this is dumb. Never mind.
Huda, do you have anything on this? So you saw this before this this post came out? Like they soft launched it and then they announced it?
Yeah, so I listed one of those cents yesterday, and I noticed that had popped up at the bottom. And again, I just didn't realize it was a feature. So separately, I saw Harto tweet, and this was just I noticed it, when in that little 10-minute period where I was zoned out. But yeah, he was just thanking people for doing these tips, I guess, leaving tips and kind of encouraging somebody to be the first to leave a tip on one of his artworks. So yeah, it's interesting.
When mandatory tipping.
Is that staying in there? You're just saying that.
No, it does not. I'm just saying that.
Poking the bear in the suit.
Yeah, a little bit. Tips now offer an option for supportive collectors, and your listings with tips applied stand out from the rest. Oh, that's interesting. Stand out from the rest.
Can you say that? Where's that coming from?
This wording is weird. Tips now offer an option for supportive collectors. Okay. And your listings with tips applied stand out from the rest.
Got it. So like a featured listing kind of. It's like OpenSea does that already, right? Like it says this seller supports creator royalties or whatever.
It gives you a little badge, it looks like.
That's cool.
Let me be clear too. Like I'm all for finding creative ways to incentivize these types of behaviors. I just think we've already kind of lost the bigger war if that's where it has to go. Because the power of blockchain is that you can create certain standards and protocols that respect cuts and royalties and all these different things, and we're just sort of saying like, that's too complicated, or not enough people agreed with that, and we went a certain way that's just sort of open market dynamics, and that is what it is now. So now we're going to try and band-aid over that and create these little incentive games to gamify. Maybe some people will participate. I just think it's unfortunate that that's where it's at.
I like when the artists themselves, although it does feel like games, like I agree with you, Giff, that the artist industry, and like I like the example you use of actors and things like this not having to go through extra hoops for this. It's like baked in. But I do like when the artists themselves bakes in something like, hey, if you paid royalties, you get this, you get X. Like I love when they gamify that. I know that feels like they're kind of dancing up there for that, but it's actually just a way to connect with the people that are really fucking with you. Is how I look at it. Go ahead.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's like you can do additional things on top of it, but it's kind of just like it's the thing. If you don't enjoy the thing, don't get it or participate in the first place. If the creator doesn't have the autonomy to decide how their thing is marketed, sold, bought and sold, or whatever, again, we just keep doing this thing that's happened throughout all of history, which is sort of tell artists to just shut up and nobody, there's too many of you, nobody really cares, you don't have any power here, so just go away. You'll maybe people will like your work when you're dead, so just remember that. Just work for that. Just remember, once you're dead, your art will still be here, and then we'll make a bunch of money off of you. Just remember, it's okay.
It feels like people are winning in this space, overall. Like there's a lot of artists that
have been starting to, and that's why a lot of people came here. A lot of creators came into the space, and builders came into the space for those opportunities.
Yeah, I think that original, the farther I get from 21, and I think I've heard even Sarah Script talk about this, which I value her opinion on the art scene more than I value my own opinion, because again, I'm just not an artist and I don't move in that way. But it's like the farther I get from 21, that was a lie to begin with. Whatever these people came in for, was part of this euphoric moment that a lot of us got caught up into. One of them being these royalties. I think it was a lie from the very beginning.
See, that's an interesting 2020 perspective, and it feels like that now. But at that time, it was a powerful idea that was actually working and had potential if more of those platforms, more of the community, more of the big players had all come together to figure out how do you standardize that and make it sort of the expectation. So it's like, it wasn't just a lie, it was one possible direction that we could have been heading, but it would have required a lot more work and people coming together that actually had the power to sort of really establish those standards. So it wasn't a lie. It was just one way that it could go, right? And we ended up going the other way. So it feels like that now, unfortunately.
All right, we are going to head off here on NFT Live. We are going to come back on Thursday and Friday. I know Giff is traveling I just got back from traveling, which is why I'm half dead up here. But my guys have done.
That was
going
gonna travel, but I'm not anymore.
Well, thank God. I can't have GIF and you leaving at the same time. Then me and Hooter are just gonna have a date up here on NFT Live.
You guys
touch tips.
You guys would make out.
Tips are for touching, bro.
All right. Last topics here before we roll out. Also, Quasar saying tips are for strippers.
Tips are for touching, bro.
Tips are for touching.
All right, guys. Any last thoughts? Huda, Biggie Poppins, Gift Ed. Any last topics you want to hit? We do have to claim our Wormhole airdrop here after the show if we are going to, fulfill those eligibility requirements. But any other things?
Just what NFT NYC getting ready to pop off here. I think a lot of the parties start actually tonight. I think the CyberKongz party is tonight, but so we were talking on the Little Noun show about all these events going on, and I can't remember who was there. She's one of the big event planners for NFT NYC. And I guess there's this problem where there's so many events that are scheduled at the same time and people can't.
Fasino.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, she's cool. But yeah, like the coordination is tricky. Like people want to go to this, but they can't because it's at the same time as that one, but also that one, but also that one. And they got to get that maybe a little tightened up, especially the Magic Eden one, which is on a yacht, but it's actually like going out. It's like they're pulling out into the water, so you can't leave once you get on the yacht, which is kind of fucking weird. So I know a lot of people aren't happy about that and are like thinking of skipping it because that, like, just go on the boat and leave it like docked still. That's cool.
I feel like the Magic Eden yacht's going to be a little bit better than the Bored Ape yacht on the ratio.
It just might be. Just might be. But anyway, we'll get some cool stories out of today, tomorrow. And so far, looks like some of the parties are fucking cool. Like D-God's party looked cool. So should be fun.
Did they have any women there this time?
Yes. The D-God, did they not last time? Like, I can't keep track of which one's which, but
Solana's notoriously
that's true.
That was one. Well, I mean, the whole fucking space is notoriously duty. Yeah, if you've ever been to any Web3 NFT events, but that was one of the few early sort of knocks that D-Gods got was when they did their first events, and it was like all a bunch of like college bros taking shoeies and not a single woman in sight. It's like, oh,
that's fucking hilarious. It's still very much like that, but I think I see some women there. So
Biggie Poppins, you jump in, man.
No, I was just gonna say, like, I don't know. I've gone to many IRL events on crypto and without them, and I think I've found at least what works for me is you pick your one thing every day. And that's what you do. And you just like, I'm not saying you dig in your heels. Like, it's always cool. I just see a lot of people running from one event to another. Sometimes it's to get the stickers or the merch or the fucking mint or the whatever freebie bullshit it is. You'll see it. It's like fucking DJs running around all over freaking Manhattan. And I don't know if that's the most productive use of your time. I very much like to use that to like connect with the people that I've been talking with. Kind of like I did with Jeff Jag while I was in Denver, like just sit down, have a beer, talk about other stuff that isn't crypto even. Like, I don't know, man. That's like, to me, the more meaningful stuff. You start building like rapport with certain communities, certain friends, and that's your crew. And it's cool if you go to other places. All I'm saying is like, I don't know, like it sucks when you're like getting there. And I've been there before, speaking from experience, is like, and you feel you have to like jump from one to the other and the other in the end.
It's exhausting.
You didn't really get to know anybody. Yeah, you probably missed a bunch of cool stuff. Like, not worth it, in my opinion. Just pick one or two and have a good time.
Yeah, be present in the moment. Enjoy where you're at, wherever you're at today. Shout out Jesse Pollock and the new friends that picked up droppers, because a couple more people did too. Bullish on base. That's all I got. OVOT.
Kerry Ross saying hit the like. Quasar saying smash the like. Tipsters. I thought you were gonna say smash the like. Strippers, but you know what? If y'all are out there, hit the like.
I appreciate you guys. Next show. I'm pretty sure that's on Crypto Slam Vision later. They're gonna be stripping.
Wow. Stripping for tips. Is that what you're gonna do?
Yeah.
Strip for tips.
Close to that yesterday.
I need to go check that out. All right, Jeff Jags an OG. Yes, he is. I appreciate y'all joining here today. Kerry Ross, Quasar, Pablo, DP, Marty McFly. Let's see, Cam Taylor. Give me the loot deck. Yeah, go claim your Wormhole airdrop. We appreciate you spending an hour with us
sounds
today.
Dirty, dude.
Get your head out of the gutter, Biggie Poppins. All right, we are getting out of here. Crazy eyes do rock, Carrie. Let's just leave it at that. I love my crazy eyes. I love the floor apes. Doesn't even have to be crazy eyes. Appreciate you joining us on X or YouTube. If you are here on YouTube, leave a like. Over on X, repost, comment, like, do all of that stuff. Support these guys up here. Again, we'll be back tomorrow. Fantastic week to you, and hopefully you survive till the end. Thank you.
Till later, fam. OVO.